Hello and welcome to Close Quarters, episode 1. This is the first guest one. We have actual guests. You saw the intro, we talked about ourselves. This one we have guests. I'm Colin from the Quartermasters, and we have Jack Green and Pete Lawless here. Guys, who are you? Introduce yourselves.
Yeah. That's a big question.
It is, isn't it?
I'm an Olympic athlete and
Fantastic.
mental health advocate, if that would probably be the bio.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
How can I possibly follow that? I'm Pete Lawless. I've got a cocktail bar in Folkestone.
Purveyor of poison.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, great. Well, thank you so much for coming. We know each other in a sort of social capacity, I guess.
I'd say so, yeah.
Albeit, like, we all have fairly limited social lives. I definitely do. I don't get out very much, but I think on the times I have done recently, I've seen you guys. So, it'd be nice to sort of like get to know you a bit better. So I thought this would be a good excuse to do that. So welcome and thank you for coming. And Pete, thank you for bringing the beer that
Cheers.
we're drinking out of these lovely
refreshment.
branded cups.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Cheers indeed. So I'll just sort of start by saying like how I know these people. Jack, we met. It was a pop-up, wasn't it? The vegan
Dr. Legumes
Dr.
vegan
Legumes
pop-up.
Space, which was amazing. Tell me about that.
I know Jamie Lawrence, who obviously with his partner,
Yeah.
they run that, and I knew him from school.
Sure.
So I decided to go along, and
Yeah.
I took my mum with me, and I was
Yeah.
very lucky to sit next to you and
Yeah,
your partner
complete
Jess.
serendipity. It was amazing.
So, yeah.
We were a bit nervous about it. I think Jess was a bit suspicious about it because it was a vegan situation, and she's sort of carnivorous by default.
Yeah.
And I think the evening was a nice surprise for her because everything was really,
I was the same
really
as you. I was only going because I knew Jamie and
Oh,
I wanted to
really?
support
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
I was like, vegan? What's this thing?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It was super good though, right?
Yeah,
The
it was
food
great.
amazing.
Fantastic.
I think we had like a sweet corn chowder or something like that for the
Got a great
starter,
memory. It was
and
that
it was
long ago.
like, that was the best sweet corn chowder I've ever had in my life.
And only?
Yeah. To be honest, yeah, but it was really good. But we got on really well, didn't we? And that was the nice thing about that event. It was quite like open, and there was kind of like Wagamama's. The table plan was just kind of you sat next to whoever,
Yep.
and we sat next to each other. And then obviously seen you subsequently come in the shop.
You've done some printing for
Done
me.
some stuff, printed you some stuff, and just hit it off. Yeah, it's good. It was nice because it was one of those rare occasions where we went out and met someone, and it kind of made me realise that Folkestone's like that now, isn't it? It's quite a fertile ground for like just going out, and everyone's quite friendly, and you can make friends here. You know, if you're a bit of an introvert or a shut-in like myself. It
No,
was a pleasant surprise.
I love Folkestone now. I moved back to Folkestone when before I was living in Florida, and
Right.
in my head when I was first thinking, I'm going to go back to Folkestone, it was really from
yeah.
Florida to Folkestone, but I absolutely love it here now. And I think,
How long ago was that?
coming up to 3 years ago
Wow,
in February.
okay.
So, and I'm really enjoying living here, and I'd quite happily stay, to be honest.
Oh, that's
So-
awesome.
Mainly because of certain places on the Harbour Arm, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you
Pete.
got plans of going back to Florida at some point then, Jack? Or
None at all,
Pete wants
because
to come with.
they don't have a Harbour Arm on the
yeah, it's true.
Ah,
in Florida and Tampa. So
losers.
They don't have anything like it out there. No, stay.
Yeah, forget it. This is the place. Where were you before Folkestone, and how long have you been here?
I grew up in Folkestone. I've lived here all my life.
Oh, wow, okay, cool.
Yeah, I lived in. I grew up in Sandgate, and
Right.
I went to school at the Harvey, and I've lived here all my life. I went away for university.
Sure.
Lived in Oxford for a few years after that.
Oxford
was in-
educated.
Oxford educated, yeah.
Excellent.
Oxford educated.
Yeah.
For I think I was at uni for 4 years. I had to do an extra year because I wasn't.
Enjoyed it so much.
I enjoyed it so much. Exactly, that's why.
Yeah.
And then I stayed up there for another 3 years in a band, which I was doing at the time.
Really?
And
what
then
what part did you play in the band?
I was a drummer.
Okay, cool.
I was a drummer in a
Yeah.
band called Inlight,
All right.
who were we were compared to Coldplay a lot.
Nice.
at the time.
Yeah.
Because they were about, and it was a rock band with a piano and a intelligent frontman.
Yeah.
And so I stayed up there for a few years and did that, and then came back to Folkestone, and have been here ever since then.
Yeah. How long?
I don't know how many years ago that was. My brain doesn't work in
Linear
past
time.
years.
Neither does mine.
It's just a certain amount of time.
Totally.
Ago that happened.
I'm glad you said that, because I struggle
just
to
haven't.
see the timeline of stuff. It's like, I know this happened at a certain point.
Yeah, exactly.
Back then, I don't know when it was.
Yeah.
It was.
When people ask me, when did you finish school or something like that, what year did you finish school? I've got no idea.
Yeah.
So I'm 32 now, so
Sure.
you can work it
At
out
some
if
point.
you
Yeah.
know.
Although
how
the
old people are when they
education
finish
never
school.
really ends, does it? To be fair,
That's true.
you know,
That's true.
we're
You're getting deep now on this
We're all
podcast.
still learning.
you know, we're at the
Seriously
school
deep.
of life. You know, is it too soon? Too soon for that?
Quite possibly.
I have had a beer.
Yes.
To be fair,
Only one though. It's
it doesn't take.
professional.
Honestly, I'm a cheap date, so it doesn't take a lot. Yeah, I came to Folkestone about 8 years ago, I think.
Mm.
I opened the shop 5 years ago,
From where?
and
Where did you come?
Bromley.
Okay.
But previously, I'd just moved around a lot. I was born in Ashford, though. Grew up in Ashford. Ashford's still kind of waiting for its renaissance, I think. Is it fair to say?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's possibly waiting for it. I don't
Yeah.
know. I haven't been to Ashford a
Been
lot
through
recently.
it a bunch, but it's like,
I think that's most people's.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with it. It's weird. Folkestone seems to be going somewhere, and it's nice to. I couldn't be anywhere else now, to be honest. Yeah, but no, this town definitely feels like home now, and it just seems to be getting better every year. The people that are here, the businesses that are here, the stuff, the feeling.
When did you set up this business?
It was so 5 years ago. It would have been December 2013.
Okay.
Yeah. And when did you set up Bathtub and
3
Gun?
years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Bathtub and Gun, by the way. We should probably put that out there to, anyone that wants to check that out.
To come and see it. Yeah.
And whereabouts is that place?
It's on the harbour arm. It's inside in the corridor in the covered bit.
Yeah. Is there a name for that bit? Just like the bit.
It's just called the corridor. I think that's
Okay.
kind of what we've all called it. I think it's something that's waiting to be named.
Okay.
I think
The corridor
I've
sounds
heard a
alright. It
few
sounds kind of
names.
cool.
It does, but it's I don't know. It needs more. It deserves better than just the corridor. I think there's some names being thrown around and some sort of ideas as to what that should actually be called.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the other places have got much better names
Oh, really?
than the corridor.
I think it sounds nice.
It's like the West Yard, the East Yard, or Platform 4.
Are you jealous of like the
corridor
yard places and the platform places?
I'm not jealous.
The
but I
corridor,
think
man,
It
that's
needs
like-
more than the corridor.
That's
The
close to the
corridor-
end of the arm.
I
You
don't
know?
know. I just don't like the
Pete, you're
corridor.
so laissez-faire about where you are in life, man. You're in a good place. You're in a fantastic place.
Yeah.
You are. What's it like, though, when the weather is horrific?
When the weather's
Do you go
horrific,
there? Do you go to work when it's like that?
we open up and
Yeah.
a lot of the time, we're committed to the hours that we say that we're going to work, but I think, people do understand a lot of the time that if it's pouring with rain and the waves are crashing over the top.
Yeah, the waves are literally...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sometimes taken into consideration.
Yeah.
And if there's been nobody down there for however many hours, then we might shut a little bit early.
Okay, sure.
But
You can stick it out for the winter.
yeah, we're open till Christmas. We're open till Christmas this year.
I love that.
Well, that's a great thing now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you're not just there for the summer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Because year one it was seasonal only, right? Because they were still
Our
doing
first
work on the
year, well,
station.
right up until now. So the last 4 years have been, it's been closed. I mean, there's been businesses down there that have stayed open. The Big Greek Bus,
Yeah.
they've been down there for the winter last year. During the days, I mean, for us, we're more of a evening thing.
Yeah.
So it's the first time evenings have been open in the winter. I mean, it's got to a point now where we've we've got to do it. We've got to.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Show up every day.
Yeah.
See what happens, right?
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just turn up.
But yeah, there's a big unknown because obviously it gets pretty treacherous down there in the winter.
But that could be a USP, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
An adventurous, dining/drinking experience.
Yeah.
You know,
it is when
brave
it's
enough
stormy
to go
outside,
there.
it's amazing in the corridor.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
yeah. Nature at its finest.
It is. Yeah,
you know,
lightning, waves.
Yeah. It reminds me. You remember in Forrest Gump, you got Lieutenant Dan at the top of the mast, just shouting at the storm. That's you.
It's like you that. Yeah.
Except you got legs.
Yeah. That's Simon at the champagne bar.
Yeah.
On top of his lighthouse.
Yeah. That's Simon. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's him.
Simon.
That's what he does.
Bless him. He does, doesn't he? Yeah. So I mean, I personally, my only day off is a Sunday, so I tend to get down there on a Sunday afternoon. I think I was cycling on Harbour Arm with my son the other day.
Yep,
so a little circuit. We come down from East Cliff, down the Harbour Arm, back up and around. I saw you. I saw so many people actually sitting on the Harbour Arm. It was like, hi, but we were, pedalling away. So
for me, it's the best thing about Folkestone Harbour Arm.
Yeah,
I really do. It's first place. If anyone comes down to visit from wherever they're coming from, I say, right, let's go down to the Harbour Arm. And
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
definitely my favourite.
It's just such a nice spot to kind of like come out and then turn around and go, oh, here we are, because you kind of have that vista there. You've got that little bit of distance. You can see the cliffs, the Warren, the town, and it's just, I don't know, it all kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It's lovely. It's a really nice spot.
It's incredible views.
Yeah.
And they've been views that you haven't been able to see for the last however many years.
Absolutely.
It's all been blocked off. So it's just amazing to have that there and to be able to appreciate what it is and what's around.
Yeah. Everyone that walks in from elsewhere, and there's a lot of them now, and I'm like, oh, where have you come down from? And they're like, it could be anywhere. It's mad. Like, I don't know why they're coming here, but maybe it is for that. And they're here. They've heard about it, and have you been down to the Arm and stuff? And they're like, yeah, we were just on our way there, And it's wonderful. It's nice, a nice thing to come and check out. Jack, you're I know several Jacks, by the way. You're on my phone as Jack the Hurdler.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you
hurdle
jump
things.
over hurdles.
Try to sometimes.
Do you want to? Should we mention the hurdling?
Yeah, you can.
Aspect?
It's pretty much what I'm known for.
Yeah. You're quite tall, aren't you?
Should we 6'4".
Can we just?
They're going to be so upset with the camera angles and everything here. You've ruined it. But yeah, and you're in a little heel compared to me as well.
I got a 1/4-inch heel on, guys. He's just legitimately tall.
It helps when you're trying to get over things.
Is it like when you're tall, do you kind of get ushered into that kind of career? Like, oh, you're quite tall. You could like jump over stuff at an Olympic level.
Not quite at that.
No?
Wasn't fair.
Is that what happened?
Olympic level, but pretty much how I started was, I didn't want to be a sports person when I was young.
Sure.
I wanted to be an archaeologist or a zookeeper.
Oh, really?
Because I love animals.
Zookeeper would have been good.
Absolutely love. That was always something I loved. And then, trying out at primary school, like a lot of people find out that they're fast or they're good at sport. You just play around at primary school. Trying out for district sports and ran down and went, oh, I'm a lot faster than everyone. I quite like winning.
Yeah, winning's nice.
So that's kind of how my sporting career started, and I wanted to be a 100-metre runner.
Right.
And I was then pulled aside and said, sorry, Jack, but you can see where this is going, obviously.
Yeah.
Your dad was born in Barnsley, not Jamaica, so you should probably change events.
Really?
So the next day I became an 800-metre runner cross country, and I played other sports and so on, and still had a bit of speed in my legs, so I became a 400-metre runner. And then it came to you're very tall and lanky. Those hurdles probably aren't going to be an issue for you. They lied. They have been an issue many times in my career.
Because they can adjust them, can't they? They're like, he's tall.
So my hurdles are at 3 foot. So when we're standing there, they go up to my hip height.
Okay, so that's like this table height, right?
Yeah, table height, 10 of them with weights in them, so if you hit them, they don't go down so easily.
That's just spiteful. I didn't know they put weights in them.
Everyone has different height hurdles?
No, not quite. People have always wondered this. If you're smaller, should you have smaller hurdles? I understand that part of it, but that would be really complicated to work that out for everyone.
Yeah.
So
like per event, it's like, okay, this event, everyone's jumping over the same height thing?
Yeah.
Okay,
400 hurdles, it's all the same height. For the men and the women have a different height. And the sprint hurdles, the 110-metre hurdles, their hurdles are even higher.
Right.
You have to be incredibly talented to get over those. There's a set height and 10 barriers in the way once round a track, which is my event is known as the Man Killer.
Right.
400 hurdles is nicknamed the Man Killer because it's brutal and it's horrible.
Yeah.
And no one chooses it; it chooses you. So I would much rather be in a different event. It'd be a lot easier, but that's the one I got.
That's your
blessed with as such.
Wow.
And how many hurdles do you have to jump over in 400 meters?
10.
So
this is really boring. This is where I go. Oh,
it's technical.
Geeky. Right. So to the first hurdle, it's 45 metres.
Okay.
Then it's 35 metres between every single hurdle. And then from the last hurdle, number 10, to the finish, it's 40 metres.
Okay.
So yeah, there you go. There's your...
So most people are probably knackered just sprinting 45 metres, right?
Yeah, probably.
You got to do that and jump over a thing and do it again and jump over a thing 10 times.
Because of the speed we have to run. But yeah.
God, man. What is your training... I mean, that's probably going to be some next level shit, right? The kind of stuff you have to do to get into the mode to do that.
I was very lucky. I went professional at 18. Not many people go professional at a young age, but I was very lucky.
So, I mean, because I haven't got a clue. Like, what does that mean? Does someone come and like make you sign a thing and go, okay, you're professional?
So I was offered funding through British Athletics, and then Nike, who are still my sponsors now and have been since I was 18, said, look, we want you to be a professional athlete, we'll pay you a wage to do so. Which as a kid, that was my dream. I was writing stories at the age of 7 about going to the Olympics. So for 18, for almost your life dream to happen it's almost too early, but it's also amazing.
Yeah.
But that's how it works. They go, here you go, we'll sign you up, here's a load of free kit and free trainers and things. And that's how becoming a professional kind of starts.
That's amazing.
So, on that one.
Wow, that's awesome. And so the Olympics, I guess, would that just happen as a natural result of being a professional?
We're in a very simple sport where we've got to measure a time. If you run this, then you're faster than ABC. Unlike other sports, which can be quite subjective, because there isn't an actual measure. People, you ask about football, like rugby, who's best player in the world, people will go, oh, well, I believe this person, this person, this person.
Absolutely.
Whereas in track and field, it's, well, no, this person's run the fastest.
There you go.
Yeah, faster, and we have qualifying times to make events. And at the age of 20, I made London Olympics.
Wow.
Which was a life dream done by 20 years old. So
sweet. So you kind of just retire now. Done everything.
Something like that. I had a few more things to do, so I carried on running for a bit. But I came 4th in the Olympics in London 2012.
Congratulations.
And was ranked top 10 in the world at that point.
Amazing.
Which, for a boy who grew up in Folkestone and went to Brock Hill and had dreams of doing these things, like many people do, it was amazing to achieve that.
Absolutely. Oh, that's amazing. Well done for being tall and jumping over stuff. That's amazing.
Being blessed with running fast. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so one of the things I would like to get onto with this thing, it's nice to say nice things, but I quite like when people, they say what gets their goat and what kind of pisses them off and what gets their blood up and everything. And so I'm curious about both of you gentlemen. You seem very nice. I'm sure there's something that irritates you or you feel passionate about, I should say. So I would like to start this off because I saw a thing this morning, someone's Instagram story, and it's about plastic, and it was about the waste in the oceans and all that kind of stuff. And I see it every day, to be honest. It's not something new. I see it like all the time. And I've seen it like my entire life as well, but it's still a thing. We still haven't kind of like corrected this thing. It seems when I was about 9 or 10 years old, I had this little club in my primary school. We were called the Ozone Club, and we cleaned up a park. We cleaned up Victoria Park in Ashford. And like you do when you're 10 years old, we thought we were going to change the world. We were going to pick up this stuff, and everyone was going to see our posters, and they were going to stop throwing rubbish away and everything. And so I was quite, from a young age, quite eco-conscious. And it occurred to me this morning, it's been like 25 years and people haven't really got the message yet because there's, the oceans apparently are full of, plastic and all of our, all the stuff we've been throwing away for the last 25 years is ended up in a whale or up a turtle's nose or something. Mm-hmm. That wasn't my plan. I never signed up for that. Why is that happening? Pete?
Why is that happening? I think I don't know why that's happening. It's just down to the throwaway culture that we live in now. It's just, if you go to Tesco's, it's really difficult to buy a Satsuma that's not wrapped in plastic, or it's really difficult to buy anything that doesn't have some sort of packaging attached to it. And it's definitely a problem, not only in this country, but this country is really bad at it. It's what kind of my inspiration behind, or my reason behind setting up Bathtub and Gun was, I went to a music festival in Arras in France called Main Square with my other half Julia, and at this festival they used eco cups, which I'm using. It's like a paper cup, or so it's made out of recycled plastic, but it's a reusable cup. It's a circular system,
right?
And so you pay £1 deposit for your cup, and then the cup's yours to keep. You can take it home with you and have it as a souvenir. Or you can take it back and get your £1 or your euro back at the end. And it was the first time that I'd ever seen this concept, and I was just kind of, from the beginning, I was like, this is a really, really simple solution to a massive problem. And at the end of the festival, there was no rubbish on the floor. I mean, French people, I think, are more respectful in general of the environment than British people. I think that's fair to say.
The streets are pretty clean over there in France.
But it's kind of dealt with in a better way, and the systems like the Eco Cup was just the end of a festival, a 3-day festival, and when people left, there was nothing on the floor.
Wow.
I mean, it would just be full of plastic cups, single-use plastic cups. If that was over here. I think it's a really kind of boring subject now. It's got to the point where people are just so frustrated about hearing about problems with plastic pollution, and that by 2025 or whatever it is, that there'll be more plastic in the sea than fish, or all of these kind of just really kind of shocking, scare.
It's upsetting for a pescatarian such as myself.
I'd imagine it would be.
I'm like, shit, I'm gonna have nothing to eat in a couple more years, man.
But it's a really boring thing now. I think it's great that people are talking about it, but in terms of solutions that we're actually hearing to these problems, there's not that many. We're just hearing the problems, not really too much about the solutions. Whereas a circular, reusable system, that's the only way that you're going to solve the problem of plastic pollution. If you're biodegradable or compostable, or any of those greenwashing terms that make you think that you're doing something good for the environment, that no one knows what they mean.
It's still going in
at the end of the day. It's just confusing people and contributing towards the greenwashing mess.
Right.
Compostable means if it goes in a compost bin, it'll turn into compost. It doesn't mean if it goes in the sea it turns into compost, or if you throw it in the bin it goes into compost. It'll go into landfill where it won't become compost. And it's a really misleading greenwashing term, compostable, I think.
So you're saying it's better to have something that is plastic, but you use it over and over and over again?
I think if there's a great opportunity for people, for inventive, creative people to come up with a product which is reusable, low cost, and holds a drink, can be washed without losing its shape, or any of those things. But it has to fit all of that criteria. And plastic, albeit made of plastic, which has had so much kind of negative press lately. The problem isn't plastic; it's the way we use plastic.
Don't you find they'll take something and they'll demonize it and they go, oh yeah, the problem is plastic. It's not how we're using it.
That's what's happened. Yeah, I think that's what you read in the papers, and that's kind of the outcome or the bottom line.
Because we couldn't be the problem, could we? No, it couldn't possibly be us, right?
Yeah, and it's getting people to change their habits or their ways, and so a reusable system. It's about getting into people's heads and saying, this cup's your responsibility. Not about doing it in a patronising or shoving it down your throat kind of way, but I think from the very beginning, I had to tell. We've got a sign in the bar, but people don't read signs when they go into a bar. So you have that conversation with everybody, and in the first year, people thought that we were taking the piss. Like it was £1 for my cup? That's a piss take. But then some people got it, and some people didn't. And I think
there's going to be some turbulence and some friction when you're trying to introduce a new concept. So it's really brave of you to do that.
It's something that I think if you've got to stick at what you're doing. If it's something 100%. That you believe in, you've got to keep going with it. But it's something that I've seen a lot more of. There's lots more people that are embracing the idea of a reusable cup rather than trying to lie to their customers and say this is a compostable cup. Have you drinking that? Doesn't matter what you do with it after that. It's going to turn into compost.
You can kind of consume with slightly less guilt then.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's
packaging gets me as well. The amount of stuff that we take home from the grocery store, and you've got a lot of the stuff. Often they've got like a little plastic window, so the cardboard bit of it is recyclable. But they would say the plastic window is not currently recyclable, so you have to kind of separate that bit and put that in the thing, and like fuck knows where that's going to end up. But then the cardboard bit, you can go, well, that goes in the cardboard one, so thank God that's going to hopefully get reused or whatever. But everything's overly packaged, like you say, satsumas and things. Like they don't need to go in a little plastic bag just to take that satsuma home. That's excessive, right? I've actually got some of your plastic cups at home. My son drinks his Ribena out of them. I've been meaning to bring them back and get my pound back or whatever. But they're great. They look good in my cupboard as well. They look good.
I've got 8 of them at home as well.
Have you?
So it's a Folkestone thing, I imagine.
Probably when you don't want them anymore, then bring them back.
Probably everyone's got your cups in their cupboard.
Desperately searching for some money, and I'll take these cups back.
Hey Pete, what's in your bag, by the way, man?
What's in here? I've got. I brought along some. I know Jack likes whiskey. So he's been down to the bar a few times.
He can't drink it, of course, because he's an athlete. But
I can smell it.
You can smell it.
I can definitely smell it.
Yeah.
Do you want to have one too, Colin?
To be honest, that smells amazing. I'm not really a whiskey person, but that does smell fantastic, and I'm curious about it. So I guess I'll have one if you're gonna have one.
I should probably. I can't put those in. I've only got pint cups. They have to go in a nice,
tumbler.
Yeah, in one of these. What about a little one for you, Jack?
Yeah, I can have a little taster. I imagine that doesn't.
This is okay because it's reusable, isn't it?
Yeah.
And glass is infinitely recyclable, isn't it? That's one of the things I learned in my youth.
It is.
You can melt it down and just reuse it like over and over and over again forever.
It's if there was if we could use glass all the time, it would be what we would do. But because we're right next to the sea and that there's thousands of people down there every day, we don't have enough space to store glass in the bar. And we don't want glass smashing outside all the time.
No, God.
Glass is absolutely the best thing for drinking.
That's the tragedy when you smash a glass out. It goes in all these little pieces and it's probably going to get put in a bin, which probably ends up in a landfill or something, right?
Smaller than that.
Ooh. Yeah, I just need a little.
How about
that? A little taster.
Okay. Do
what are we drinking, Pete? What are we drinking? Where is this?
It's Noah's Mill. It's a Kentucky bourbon.
Okay.
57%.
Just a few.
Okay. See, I judge alcohol and its strength, so this is.
So podcast ends.
This is right up there. Yeah.
Finishes this.
Yeah. Someone else is going to have to say goodbye at the end of this because.
Well, cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much. Is there like an etiquette? Should you you don't shot it, I guess, do you?
I only had a small amount.
Oh, yeah.
That's lovely.
Oh, wow. That does... That's warm the cockles there. Thank you for...
That's good stuff.
Oh. All right, so what gets your goat, Jack Green?
My goat?
Tell us, yeah.
More what I'm kind of passionate about and what I do is predominantly now I speak more than I run, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's
because you're having a rest, isn't it?
Yeah, and
tired.
But to be honest, I do more talks than I do running, which is fantastic. And all my talks are around mental health.
Okay.
So within my career, after finishing 4th at Olympics in 2012, I was within 9 months diagnosed with depression and bipolar tendencies, and was very suicidal. And which I struggled for a long time because as a male sports person who was deemed to be very successful within society, it wasn't something I'd ever dreamt of or experienced through friends or family or anything. And to be honest, I didn't believe in mental health issues. I just thought, oh, you're weak or you're soft. If that's when you hear about it. And then I suffered myself and really struggled. So after that, I had 2 years out from the sport, kind of found my love for life as such again. Got back into sport and
how? Because surely some people are like down there in the real shit.
So
how do you find that?
I left the sport for the 2 years because I couldn't keep myself in a high pressure environment.
Was the high pressure environment that was, do you think, creating that?
So what a lot of people get confused with my story is they think that, oh well, because you're in the Olympics and you didn't do as well as you wanted, maybe that's why you suffer mental health issues. When that's obviously not the case when you think about it. When I've been successful and not successful, I've struggled. Same. And when I've been running or not running, I've struggled. And I can look back now, and now that I have the knowledge I do about mental health, I definitely suffered with depression, anxiety when I was a teenager. I just, was very successful at what I did. Yeah. Which then put all this gloss on it that people kind of then go, oh no, with the stigma that's attached on it, you can't have a problem. So I took 2 years out just to manage myself, figure out what I wanted and what life was about. As I said, I went professional at 18, so I never really experienced what would be deemed as a normal life. I went straight into, within 1 year of being professional, I was ranked top 20 in the world and training full time.
So presumably you didn't have the university experience or any of that kind of stuff?
I didn't get any of that because I was on the track every morning, 9 a.m. So getting ready to try and be the best athlete you can be. Yeah. So I had my 2 years out, learnt a lot about myself, decided to return to the sport, and I ended up, I'm a European medalist, a world medalist, and I went to another Olympic Games, and this year I came 4th at the Commonwealth. So obviously my story is quite interesting because I was very successful, very young. Yeah. I had my issues and and things that, someone of my status isn't meant to suffer from. Sure. And then I've managed to come over that and be successful again. Yeah. Now, the other thing that then gets thought about, and I've had conversations within the media, and they want to portray it that it's this thing of, well, you're successful, you weren't, and now it's like happy ending. When actually I still struggle all the time now. Sure. I just learn how to manage myself, but I still have my off days. And because of that story, I go in, I speak at businesses. I've been at Oxford and Cambridge University to speak with them because of the pressures they're under and so on. And I go into as many schools as I can because it's definitely, you're seeing it now in terms of mental health within the media is such a current thing. Yeah. And more people are speaking about it. Yeah,
well, that's good. Hopefully that's going to buck the trend and people aren't just going to think, oh, he's just soft.
And if I can contribute to that, that's fantastic. If I can help others, I think that's more to life than helping yourself. Yeah. So that's kind of what I do now, almost for a living, is try and help others through my own experiences. Yeah. And now I think we've got to a stage within the media that we're at where, yes, there's a lot of awareness, it's fantastic, everyone's speaking about it, but do we actually accept it? I think that's the next phase. Okay. People know about it, but do they actually know the details and actually do they accept that these things happen? Yeah. So hopefully with me being so open about it and honest about it and someone who's, as said, deemed to be very successful and so on, hopefully I can then normalise it, humanise it. For sure. That someone who has been one of the best athletes in the world and struggles, then why couldn't anyone else struggle? Do you know what I mean? Do you think the symptoms of the mental health aspects that you struggled with, is it sort of like prevalent within athletes? Is it like because of the high pressure situation,
Is that how it presents itself, or is it sort of like, is it in there anyway, just waiting for the right conditions? Or
obviously it's all individual, but I feel that there's a lot of the reasons why I'm a very good athlete and very successful at what I do, my obsessiveness and so on.
Yeah, for sure.
Are the same reasons why I struggle at times, because you're balancing on this edge. It's no different to my training, where I'm trying to get 100% out of myself, and sometimes you can push it a little too far and then you get injured.
Yeah.
But you're always treading that line, and that's almost the same with all my traits and my personality, my character. And sometimes they've gone over the edge. I haven't been able to manage myself and realise where the line is, and then I've ended up in a really bad place. And I think then when you put, I was 20 years old with not much life experience. I went to a home Olympic Games, which even if you didn't like sport, within this country as a British person, you knew about the London Olympics.
Yeah.
My Twitter followers went from something like 1,000 up to 15,000 overnight, and everyone was talking about it. And I didn't do as well as I'd wanted. I fell in the hurdles, which, as a hurdler is the worst thing you can do.
Right.
In front of a home crowd, and I didn't have much life experience. Now,
it's got to hurt as well, right?
It's the trigger. You put a young adult within that environment where you have 80,000 people cheering.
Yeah.
Huge expectations upon themselves, externally and internally.
Yeah.
And then you have millions of people watching, and it doesn't go how you want it to.
Not many of us can really say we've
that's
been
a huge trigger.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was just my moment of these where this got too much for me.
Right. Yeah.
But as I said, there are times when I was younger, I can, when family members were ill, those who were very close to me, and so on, and other things within life that I couldn't quite handle, I didn't have the tools for. But as I said, that's why I go into schools, that's why I go into businesses, to hopefully, through my story, give these tools that, not saying that people won't have I turn up and, mental health is cured, not at all, but hopefully I can give people something to manage it when things are tough.
And talking about it's so important, isn't it? Especially when something that up until pretty recently we didn't talk about at all.
Especially as men is a huge thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also as British people.
Yeah, we don't talk
Brits
about stuff.
And stick up a lip and all that. And so it's fantastic that it's becoming more and more open. Definitely. And especially within sport, which is obviously my world, you're seeing so many more sports people feeling that it's okay to speak out. Whereas, I think I'm the only track and field athlete to go who's of a professional standard to say about their mental health issues. Wow. Yet I know behind the scenes that there are so many more. And the stats are that it's 1 in 4 people will suffer a mental health issue at some point within their lifetime. Yet in a high performance environment, and frankly I think that's everyone. Because of what social media and all these other things and the world we live in. We live in a high performance world where everyone expects stuff.
To be fair,
that then changes to 1 in 3.
Every picture you post, you're thinking like, right, how many?
But that stat then changes to 1 in 3.
Yeah.
Now I'm the 1 in 3 here, so we're cool. You two are fine.
I'm all right.
But I think that's really important for everyone to know. And remember that 1 in 3, 1 in 4 is the people that we know about.
Yeah.
But we have a stigma, and we have this whole thing where we don't know about people.
Yeah.
So that's probably higher.
I think it's really difficult to identify a mental health issue. Yeah. If you're somebody who's experiencing a mental health issue that's in denial or that wants not to be experiencing that or doesn't want people to know about it, or
particularly as a guy, I think, because we kind of minimise things and kind of go, there might be something, we go, possibly should go see a doctor about that, but it'll be fine. You sort of just soldier on, don't you?
Yeah.
And with a mental thing as well, where the symptoms are even more kind of, they're not physical,
they're not measurable as such.
They're quite abstract, and you kind of don't want to go and sort of complain to someone. I feel a bit down.
I've definitely had times in my life where there's things that are happening or have happened that you find like this is all a bit overwhelming, but I have to find a way of dealing with it. And I guess it's when it becomes a point that you know that you need to deal with it, or you have identified that it's a problem and can't deal with it, that then it becomes a mental health issue. And still possibly difficult for people to come to terms with that, or actually identify that as a fact in the first place. But definitely for blokes, I think that's really important though. You still have to understand that life can be hard sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And you will experience what the things that feel like what would be you're feeling depressed.
Yeah.
But depression is then that next level of you can't shake it. it's not everyone has almost felt depressed at some point.
Yeah,
right? We've all had
life has its ups and downs.
These moments,
right?
and then when you're life will, because unfortunately that's how life goes.
Yeah.
But that's why the highs are so fantastic and
of course,
so on.
Yeah.
But then depression is when I've got this depressed feeling, but I can't shake it. Sometimes there's no reason for it, and sometimes it will last a very long time.
Okay.
You know, I have weeks where I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, here it comes. But then I have other moments where I'm like, I know that how I work, and I know if I'm, you know, overwhelmed with this and there's these stresses and I haven't been doing this, haven't been sleeping as well, that I can feel it coming.
Yeah.
But there are also days where, as I said, I wake up and it's,
that's fine.
This is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
But it's understanding the differences, you know. Sometimes life's hard and sometimes actually there is an issue. But as you said, it's almost a grey area. And I think that also comes from we don't have that understanding of it. That hopefully, as you get older anyway, you learn. You get that life experience of actually,
the older you
I
get,
know
for sure.
how I feel about thing. And this, I know what's normal for me, what's not.
Confusing when you're younger, though.
Hugely.
Because, like, you've got no basis for comparison, you know. Am I just having a bad day, or is this like...
But that's hopefully where we create environments where everyone's open, honest, and can actually share their thoughts and feelings. That when someone is feeling that way, that if they share it, and someone can almost confirm. Or
totally. I feel the same.
And actually, instead of this stigma way of no, you don't have a problem, get on with it, kind of thing. Well,
put your socks
actually
up.
having someone that's like, okay, well, what's the problem? Let's deal with it and try and fix things. But hopefully we create that environment. And
well, the more we talk about it, the better, right?
Yeah.
So what would your advice be to someone that is struggling at the moment?
The hardest thing is obviously accepting it first.
Yeah.
But it's going and finding help. And I'm still in a position now where I saw a psychiatrist for 6 weeks because that was what was kind of like given to me. Right. I haven't seen anyone since.
Right.
And I've had times where I should go and see the GP and things, and I don't. And I'm someone who's, you know, preaching these things. So I completely understand the difficulty of it. But speaking with people is fantastic. I have a circle, you know, friends and family who I trust that I feel a lot more comfortable with that I didn't have before. And they also know me.
Yeah.
So they can almost pick up on it. So I think it's creating that environment, that circle of people that you trust. You can, you know, it's confidential, it's whatever it might be, but you feel comfortable with them. Yeah. And you feel like, actually, when I'm having these issues, I can say it to them and I know that I'm going to get... Exactly. Yeah. They're actually going to try and help me here.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it's creating that circle around you. And if those people you already know, you can think now and think, actually, that person's not great for that. And they might be a friend, but you just go, this is my circle for mental health and these are my circles for fun, whatever it might be, but create that circle.
Fantastic. Oh, that's good advice. I can only relate on a sort of an abstract level, really, you know, in terms of you were saying about the sort of obsessiveness and in a creative sense, that the mindset can be a double-edged sword. Again, you know, you can wake up some days feeling really enthusiastic about what you want to do, and it's all just like happening fairly almost automatically, and it's fabulous and wonderful. And then other days you're looking at what you did the day before and you're just like, you just don't believe in it anymore, and it fluctuates so much. And I've kind of learnt to deal with it and just kind of ride the little highs and kind of wait out the little lows and stuff. But for someone that's like deeply sensitive, I must imagine it's horrendous. You know, really high highs, really savage lows.
It's understanding yourself, understanding when to have a break from things and actually what's important and what's not. The
pressure you put on yourself is significant, I think, isn't it?
Usually. There's the reason I'm a successful athlete, and especially in an individual sport.
Right.
It's because what I can almost force myself to do.
Well, there's no team, is there?
There's
right?
no hiding. And we're 100% or nothing. You lose 1% and everyone sees it. But at the same time, it's a fantastic sport because of that, because when it goes well, all the plaudits are on you.
So, for sure.
Like anything, there's your positives, your negatives. But if we can create environments and cultures that can accept both sides of the coin, the highs and the lows, then I think we're onto a winner. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's cool. Thank you so much it's been really illuminating, honestly, because I kind of just see through my little kind of tunnel vision of the world, and, you know, I don't know what anyone else is going through. And, one of the reasons I wanted to sit and do this was to get to know people on a deeper level, you know, for a little bit longer than a dinner or, you know, buying a beer off somebody or something, you know, just find out what the hell's going on with them, you know? And whiskey's gone in my head, so I think it's probably time to wrap this up. Thank you very much indeed for coming, Jack Green and Pete Lawless. This has been Close Quarters episode 1. Thank you.